At South Alameda Elementary School there in Jefferson County, as I said, that school had a tradition of ability grouping kids from the first grade right on through the sixth grade. Top kids, top teachers, I think, meaning the ones of us that have been there the longest. Well, at the first grade level, we had a lady, I think her name was Miss White, if I remember correctly. And Miss White was a pretty old lady compared to the rest of us. And she was quite a character. It was said, and I believe it was true, that in the summers that she worked the carnival circuit. You know, if you can deal with the crowds and the working conditions of a carnival, you can work about anywhere and handle anything. Well, in our school district, we had a family that, I didn't know at first, but eventually found out they had found an abandoned house with a sign on it, not fit for human habitation, had broken into it, set up housekeeping. No water, no electricity, but a roof over their heads, I guess. Well, I hate to say it, but I think they were so desperate that they trained their kids in the art of thievery. Well, one day, Miss White sends a message down that she wants to see me, and I go in and she tells me the child of that family that's in my room has, I think, stolen a watch. Well, I'm dumb enough that I think, well, okay, Miss White, I'll come down and I'll sit where I can observe the whole class, and I made enough class visitations, that wouldn't be unusual. But I'll choose a seat where I've got her in my peripheral vision all the time, and, I think if she stole that watch, I can pick up where it is, and at least pick up the fact that she did do it. Well, I sat there 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm telling you, nobody was more angelic than the children around me, including the ones she thought had stolen the watch. Well, I laughed and whispered to her, I don't think she did it. She looked at me with scorn. I went on about my business. School's out. She came down. She said, I got that watch back. Miss White, how did you do it? Well, she said, I was just sure she had it. So I decided we'd have some messy artwork to do. And I helped those kids clean up. And when she was cleaning up, I frisked her. And that watch was way up in her armpit on her arm. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, the same family had an older boy that he was in trouble all the time, and I'm going to help make a Christian out of him, so I've had him helping out of the office. And I can't remember if this was before or after the watch incident. She sent me a note, that boy of yours has stolen a bracelet with real money on it out of my room. Okay, Miss White, I'll check it out. I called the young man in, and he confesses indirectly immediately by emptying his pockets and telling me he hasn't got it, which is telling me he knows why he's in there and that he knows something about the whole thing. So I looked him over, we talked about it, and in all innocence, perfectly bland-faced, he assured me he knew nothing about any bracelet with money on it. So I was where he'd already emptied his pockets. I said, take your shoes off. He did, and oh, such sorry shoes. He showed me that even when he flapped the sole down that was loose, the money wasn't there. Okay. So then I said, well, take your socks off. He took his socks off, no problem. I said, show me the bottom of your feet. Now, good Lord, God must have told me to say it. It never occurred to me he really would have it. That he had taken the money off that bracelet and taped the money to the bottom of his feet. Unbelievable. Not only trained to be thieves, but trained to be skillful thieves. But the thing I liked most about Miss White wasn't that you couldn't fool her on that kind of stuff, but that she made it a habit to say in the faculty lounge and before school and around the parent groups when we had PTA some of the wonderful things that her little angels were doing. In other words, just a little counter propaganda here about my little dummies. And she did have them doing wonderful things and making wonderful progress. Great teacher. Miss White, we need a lot more like you in the public schools and the private schools, for that matter. God bless you. Thank you for your service.